Hello everybody, back again for another Only for Survive, the prototype board game, what am I calling it? Hello everybody, welcome back to another Only for Survive prototype development. What am I calling this? I'm calling this my design experiment. I'll read my little statement as I always do. This is a personal fan-made project called Only for Survive. It is inspired by Left 4 Dead, but not affiliated with or endorsed by Valve. I'm developing it purely as a design experiment and hope one day to explore an official license. If I can make something good enough. What I deem to be good enough. So I'm just going to get stuck straight in and just start playing from where we left off, which is here. I think I'm going to do this one more play test and then all my big stack of notes that I've got from this play test I'll try and implement, and there's a whole bunch of things I need to think about when it comes to this game, making it much faster to play before we do another big round of play testing. Okay, so all the characters are ready to go. I've got very little ammo looking at the characters. And we've got a whole mess of zombies to deal with here. Okay, so obviously most pressing here, we've got Rook, who has got 6 zombies on his node. So, I've just noticed that Rook has got one hit point left. So, it costs an action to use a med kit. These guys are going to absolutely get their butts kicked. I could move to this node and grab Search. If I moved out of that node, I'd take 3 damage. So he'd die. Let's look at his quotes to see if there's anything, which obviously I would have been using these a lot more if I was playing properly. Oh, he has got a card, cancel 1 limping penalty for 1 round. So at the moment I can only move 1 node because I'm in the kind of limping phase, of the limping damage range. And so I could cancel that, so that's really useful. So if I wanted to move 2 away, I could, but unfortunately the only way I could get away from these guys and these guys is move to here, but this node, you can just see that there on the camera, is blocked. That's not a node we can use because we're actually fighting on the rooftops here. So the rooftops has got some nodes that are blocked off. And you can see here it's made a big difference because I could have just ran to that node, at least had a round to recover. Oh God, it's so hard. Okay. Temporary block. And now play to a thing and just spawned. Target will play against 1 special action. Ooh, I could gain a special action, which means I could move an extra node. So, just moving off this node is pointless. My first action with Rook, he's got lots of ammunition, it's going to be to fire. It's like I've got analysis paralysis times 2. Oh, I'm not rolling them where you guys can see them. So he rolls 2 rare, 2 medium and a weak dice. One of the dice have to spend an ammunition, but I get 3 hits. Take out 3 of them. I'm going to fire again. We have to burn another ammunition, but I get another 3 hits. Nice. So what I'm going to say is, I'm going to cheat a bit here, as always. I'm going to, rather than use his other action, I'm going to say I spent another ammunition to make an additional attack. Then I'll use his other action to use his med kit, which gives him 15 health. Which gives him 15 health. Amazing. Now he's still got his move action. So I'm going to move and I'm going to search. So he's going to move to this location, remove a search token, got to use these search tokens. I've pretty much removed every single negative token because in previous games I've just drawn a negative token after negative token. It's ridiculous. Oh, actually, before he draws, he's going to make another attack because you can make another attack after this if he wanted to. 1, 2. I could have made the attack there. I could have made the attack while I was there. So let's rewind that movement. Let's go 1, 2. I'm going to attack there. And he gains, he gains 3 hits. 1, 2, 3. And I gain a special, which is a move, which I could just move anyway. But I've already still got my movement, so anyway. He's then going to move, search, then draw from the bag of doom, which has always been negative so far. It's a weapon. I've never drawn a weapon before. There is other weapons in here. But it's the worst weapon possible. It's the dual pistols. So I'm going to put the dual pistols on his character. Now I could replace, so this is something else I need to think about, is I picked up a second weapon. Can I replace my pistol with the dual pistols? So I've got the SMG and the dual pistols. I think you can do that in the computer game. I think your dual pistols become your basic weapon. But I'll check that. I'm not too sure. So let's do a note. DU pistol. Replace pistol. Obviously in this game, the way I've designed the dual pistols is I'd have to still have the pistols. So it could be that the pistol card that I've made here could just be printed on the character sheet, and then when you get a dual pistol you put it on top of the, and then if you use all the ammunition in the dual pistols you take it off and then you've got the pistol. So it could be that. So it's interesting actually, because then if I give him the dual pistol card, I would need to give him ammunition for the dual pistol, but the ammunition would then would have to be tied to each weapon. So that's something to think about, ammunition and weapons. It's almost like the dual pistol would have to just be an infinite ammo weapon, but then that means you can't spend ammo to do extra shots, which is nice. So then you'd have to make the dual pistols a main weapon and just always have the pistol as a backup, which I think might have to happen, because otherwise it might cause too many conflicts. Anyway, so that's good. That's another thing to think about. Okay, so Rook's done his actions. The zombies are going to move. Sorry, no, I think Brick might be dead. Okay, well that's fun. We've got to deal with it. So all these zombies are going to move. This zombie's going to move first. I'm going to do that, and then these zombies are going to move in here. 3, 6. So he's got 6 on him. This zombie can't move to there. He's going to move to the closest. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. By distance, that one looks closer, so he's going to move there. These zombies are going to move there. These zombies are going to move there. That's an alarm, no. Okay, so Brick takes 6 damage. Now, I did have a rule that was you could use these in reaction to zombie attacks if you hadn't taken your turn yet. So there is potential for him to be able to do something. Yes, there we go. He's got a card that says cancel 3 damage dealt to yourself or an ally. So he could effectively spend his quote for his turn, because he hasn't taken his turn yet, out of turn. But there is actually going to be only certain cards that you can do that with, so there'll be like response cards or whatever I end up calling them. So we could do that, or we could just see what happens when he goes down. No, I'm not going to let him go down. I'm going to say that he spends this quote. He's going to take 6 damage, so I reduce it by 3. 1, 2, 3. So I take 3 damage, so he's got 1 hit point left. He has still got his med kit, so that's good. He's going to... This is the zombie's turn. It's not his turn. The zombies attacked him. That's the end of the zombie's turn. Then it's Rook's AI card draw. We're not in a horde rush zone yet. I can't draw from this deck, so I'm going to draw from this deck. The Hunter Pack. Oh God. It gets worse. But worse by I mean better. Like, I always think it's funny when bad stuff happens. So this is the this is called the Stalker Pack. That's what it's called a Stalker in my game. The Stalker Pack, shadows leap together. So it says a Stalker, which is like basically the hunter. I'm using this little doggy model for it because dogs kind of pounce. I don't know. And he spawns which character is here? So he's going to spawn here at this special node because it's slightly different to the other spawn nodes. So the hunter is going to spawn there. If the hunter has been removed from the bag, which I've got a bunch of tokens that have been removed from this bag already, if he had been removed from the bag, I would add him back into the bag, but he hasn't been removed from the bag, so he's still actually in there. There's still a hunter in this bag. So that's what that symbolization means. It means he spawns at the special spawn and then add him to the bag. If he'd been removed, you put him back in. Then I spawn 3 zombies at C, here on the alarmed node. Great. And then +1 on the threat tracker. Okay, nice. So that was there. Oh, sorry, that was there. Put that there. If you haven't seen any of the other videos, these AI decks, the reason there's 4 different ones is that each character would have built their own, each player, would have constructed their own AI deck to fight against effectively. So that's one of the really fun things I think in the game is that everyone gets dealt 10 cards at the start of the game. Obviously that's to be set yet. It might not be that many, might be more. And then you arrange them how you want them, and then you put them down, and then you can draw from whichever deck you want, and then characters can kind of try and make their own story. But inevitably straight away you forget what order you put them in, and then it all goes to hell. So that was his AI turn, AI director card pull. So now we've got the other characters. So Brick here is now the next character that really needs to deal with some stuff. I've just suddenly thought of something. Now, there is this, this is exactly what playtests are for, because you can never see this on a written word. Now, I've got these tokens here, barricade, which block a location, the same as this cross, which is just a permanent block. There's this barricade, which is, that location is blocked, but for an action, a player can move it one zone. So the players can block nodes. You can't move the barricade on top of a spawn node, but you could block a zone to make it harder for zombies to get to you. Now, something I haven't thought about is, what about characters moving a barricade across node to a different map? That's just something I just thought of. Obviously, I'm not going to allow that, because players inevitably would just move all the barricades with them and create an impenetrable wall. That's what I would do. So I just need to note that. Barricades can't be moved across maps. Again, this is what playtests are for. If I was a player, I'd be like, ooh, let's move all the barricades and let's form a big wall and just move forward through the game with all the zombies piling up behind the wall. So we're going to have to do Brick. He's got a shotgun. He's loving life. He's going to use his med kit. He's going to gain 15 health. Now, obviously, you'd think, well, he's just healing himself. are surrounded by zombies. But that's reflected by the fact that he's just lost an action. Oh no. And he's only got 1 ammo. Oh god. So now he's got 1 action, so now he can fire once, and he's going to get hit by another 6. So he's going to fire once. I'm feeling positive. Come on, Brick. He's already used his quote to damage the... So he can't use a quote this round. That's why I should have reset his little quote tracker. This little tracker here is used to just show whether you've used his quote for this turn, because you can use quotes out of turn. But I'm going to obviously differentiate on the quote cards which quotes can be used out of turn, because there's some attacking actions which are not going to be able to use out of turn. It doesn't make sense. Okay, so we've got a black and a red with a shotgun. I gain +1 weak die because I'm on the same node, and my bonuses, if I roll a star, are all to do with being on the same node kind of thing. So that's what the shotgun's for. So I get 5 hits. Oh yeah! Boom! Nice. So now Brick is actually free to move off that node, because I take half damage and there's only 1 zombie there. So I could move him to this raised node, or I could move him to this node just to pick up a token and hope he gets something. I'm going to do that. Yeah. Okay, right. He's going to move from this node, so he doesn't take any damage. I'm going to fire first. So even though I've done my 2 actions, I can I'm spending his last ammunition to fire again, and but now I don't get the extra weak dice. This is not a raised node, is it? No, it's a search node. That's a raised node there. Oh, that's a good point. Zombies are on a raised node. Should it be harder to hit them? I don't think so. But anyway, so he's going to fire his pump shotgun. He rolls, and I've just thought something else I need to think about. He rolls 2 hits, boom boom, and he rolled a special. Now his special is at range 0, I get to roll an extra heavy dice, which I can't do because it's not at range 0, but at range 0 to 1 I can knock back all common infected 1 node. Oh no, I forgot about the hunter. Oh god. Okay, I forgot there was a hunter. So knock back all common infected 1 node. So I'm going to do that. These guys are all going to push back to this node. Ooh, do I push them back to... No, they're all going to move. Okay, I'm going to push them back to this node. Okay, he's got no ammo left. He's going to then search. We've had I think the search tokens have been quite good in this game, actually. It's been quite balanced. I just need an ammo. Yes! There's loads of ammo in here, so it's not like weird that I wanted an ammo and I picked an ammo. Yay! He's got an ammo. So he finds an ammunition that replenishes his gun's ammo. So he's got 6 ammunition. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hoorah! So I could fire again. 1, 2. I have got the range. It's range 2 to shoot the stalker. I'm going to. So he's going to spend an ammo that he just found. He's going to fire into this zone. I just forgot. I can't target the specials because there's zombies there. You have to hit the zombies first. So I killed 2 of these zombies. Okay, that's fine. That is Brick's go. It's now the zombies move. Okay, these 2 zombies move onto here and hit Brick for 2. Oh, whoa. It's just something else is going to happen here. Sorry. We need to check the order in which the zombies move. So we've got enemy activation, Stalker, Hag, Licker, Dozer, Infected, then Blister. So the Stalker is going to move first. And he moves 2 zones towards the most isolated or nearest survivor. I think the Stalker's movement might actually be increased to 3, but I'm just going to put a note of that Stalker move. I'll put question mark. It's because I'm not too sure. It might be 3 because you kind of want him to be leaping across, but that's why he's got 2 movement for. But so he's got isolated and then nearest. The enemy in the game will always try and attack a survivor. They're not going to move in a direction away from being able to do damage. So even though I could get to him, even though he's the most isolated survivor, the survivor that's furthest away from all the other survivors. Oh, wait a minute. I can get there. I can get there anyway. I'm talking rubbish because I can go to there to there. But if it was the scenario where I could get to there, but he was there, say, even though he's the most isolated, during his turn he could hit this one, so he would hit this guy. He's not going to waste a turn just moving to nowhere to get shot and die. If he can hit someone, the enemy will always try and do as much damage, basically. Try and do the most damaging action. But from this node, I can move to any of these nodes. So he can move to this node, so that's 2 nodes away. So poor Rook is going to get his butt kicked. Okay, so he moves 1, 2, zip. Rook is now pinned. He takes 2 damage, 1, 2. If alone with a survivor, the survivor is immobilized, other survivors must spend 1 action to rescue. Oh, I forgot about that. He should have done this already, actually. He's got acts immediately on spawn from the bag. Did he spawn from the bag? He didn't spawn from the bag. That's right. That's the difference. So when they spawn from the AI deck, they spawn onto the board, but if they spawn from the bag, they act immediately. It's to represent drawing from the bag is like a surprise. Like you run around the corner and there's a boomer there, publista there. So yeah, so that's what the bag's for. It's more like a surprise thing, and it's a nice way to differentiate from the zombies coming onto the board from the AI director, and then, as I say, things that you're running into for surprises. So that was the hunter's turn. That's all he's going to do. Basically, the stalker does 2 damage to him and then pins him, and then he's pinned until he's removed. He doesn't continuously do damage. I've found that that's too hard, because if somebody's really over here and it's going to take, because all the characters aren't effectively acting all at the same time, it's like one character gets to go, then all the monsters, another character, all the monsters. If a character's out here on his own and all these characters have been, then this character might not get to them for 4 turns, and in that they'll just be dead if they were constantly being hit by the enemy hitting them. So within the constraints of this board game, you can't have it unless all that characters were going at the same time. So even if a guy got pinned, any one of the characters could go and get them. So it just didn't make sense. So being pinned is actually nasty enough, I think, anyway. Nasty enough an action. Because obviously it takes that character out of the game. Luckily Rook's already been this turn, but he still needs to be rescued. So that's somebody's got to spend 2 turns to get to him yet. Because you've got to spend an action to rescue him. I can obviously shoot the stalker, so I could be next to him and just shoot him, but any misses I roll cause damage to Rook. Now, another thing I thought about when I was rolling the dice is that if a weapon's got no ammunition left, and I fire the weapon and it's my last ammunition, and then I roll an ammunition, what happens? So I would say that the weapon would then be marked as empty because I could still keep firing it. So what I'll need is a token that says empty. It's that simple. Empty ammo token. So so because the guns can fire constantly, you only stop firing once you've run out of ammunition. So if I spend my ammunition, that makes sense. If I spend my last ammunition to make an attack, then the gun is now considered empty. That's more slick. That's a much better way of doing it. So So as long as you've got one ammunition, you can still keep firing until you use that ammunition, and then after that attack, you can no longer fire anymore. That makes sense. So let's get rid of that note. So I just need to clarify. Last ammo weapon empty. So when it's your last weapon, when your last ammo has been spent, then the weapon is considered to be empty. There could be an this weapon is empty token, but obviously if you've got no ammo, you know the gun's empty. So by using up your last ammo, you are willingly, effectively exhausting all your ammo. So that kind of works thematically too, because if you've got, as long as you've got one ammunition left, you've constantly got ammo. You can still keep firing it as normal every round until that ammo's gone. But you could choose to spend it to make an additional attack if you're desperate. Makes perfect sense. So that's great. So Rook is downed now. It's Brick's turn, and he is in the zombie phase of his turn. So all the zombies are going to move. So these two zombies are going to move and hit Brick for 2. These zombies are going to move to there. These zombies here are going to move 1, 2, 1, 2. What did I say about normal infected? Weakest, nearest. So Brick is actually the weakest. These zombies are. Have I just moved those there? Oh no. I can't stop and rewind the video. it's not. I'd have to start again. I feel like they need to move. I don't feel like I've moved them. Have they just moved there? No, I feel like I need to move them. These. Oh, wait a minute. So, this is a rule that I know that's already written down, is that zombies won't target downed opponents. So this target being pinned, the zombies now won't move to him. If the zombies were, say, behind him, on a node behind him, even though that node's blocked, so let's pretend it's not blocked, and the zombies were on this node, they would move, and they would had to move towards these guys because he was knocked down. They would still move onto the node with him, and they would still cause damage to the character that's downed on the node, but they wouldn't be targeting him. They'd just be moving on their way to get to another player. But they would still, if they moved onto your node, they'd still automatically do damage. So it's like they just give you a good kicking on the way to go to somebody else. But in this scenario, that's good for me. These zombies are all going to move here, because now they've run over there to get this guy, and now they're going this way to get this guy. Great. Brick has been the human distraction. Okay, so that's Brick's go. Now he's got to draw an AI card. Let's draw from, what we're doing, which is the deck, that's the deck there. I'm going to draw from, I can't draw from that deck. This deck. Come on, yes. Well, so this is a green card, so this is a good one. So green is good because it spawns less zombies, but it moves the threat tracker up very quick. So I've got I've forgotten what this does now. I've got a little bag symbol onto an, it's obvious. So I spawn something from the bag to the node that Brick's on. So I'm going to do that first. So this could be bad. This is like a nice little surprise, but it could be good. It's good. It's an ammunition. We drew an ammunition. So I'm going to pop this ammunition on Brick's node, because it's still Brick's turn. So it's this node is called, this AI code is called Abandoned Truck. You prise open the cab, wrong truck. In this example, in the truck there was some ammunition. I mean, I don't know what the truck's doing on the rooftops, but you know, it's hard to coordinate all these cards together. So we've got × 3 common infected at B or C. So I've got a choice here. C or B. I'm going to put them on B. 3 zombies spawn in, and then I have to increase the threat by 3. 1, 2, 3. Oh god, 2 spaces away from a horde rush, so that's the dum 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 when tons of zombies pile out. I think I drew from that deck. There we go. Move those down a bit, so it's neat. Okay, so that was Brick's go. Right, these 2 guys at the back, even though they've got no health. Joe and Isaac need to start kicking some serious butt now. Right, Joe is going to move. She's got the dual pistols. Oh, God. They're so rubbish. And she's only got 2 ammo. Okay, she's going to move 2. That's her movement. And she's moved it here and then to here, which is the raised zone. So that means she rolls 1 extra dice in attack, which is great. She's going to move to this zone. She is going to fire onto these guys. So the dual pistols roll 3 white. So now she rolls 4 white. That's a bit better. I have actually written down that I might make dual pistols 4 white anyway. I don't know. Yay! So what does she roll? It's rolling forever. She gets 4 hits. 1, 2, 3, 4. Nice. 4 hits to these guys. She could shoot onto the stalker, but the stalker's got 3 hit points. This is who's pinning Rook. Because he's not taking any further damage, I think I'm going to have to leave. But then Joe's going to have to free him. Oh. What's she going to do? It's either fire into this zone. Got a range of 3, 1, 2. She's going to get the range. I can shoot into this zone to free some off, or take a punt and kill the stalker, which does free up Rook next round. Let's do that. We got to do that. Okay, she's going to fire onto the stalker, which is actually at range 1, 2 away. So she gets her extra dice again. Ooh, 4 hits, but she loses an ammo. Ooh, no, she's got 1 ammo left. So as we just talked about, now if she loses that ammo, she's now not going to be able to fire the dual pistols anymore. She's going to have a pistol, which is 2 white dice. But she is on a low raised location, so she'll still have 3. So anyway, so she gets 4 hits. So we kill the stalker. Boom, boom, boom. Nice. Which means that Rook is back alive. I could have it that when you remove the stalker from a zone, from the character zone, they take damage again, maybe, to kind of symbolise them still being hit by it. Yeah, that could be an idea, maybe. So effectively, you might as well just say they might as well just do 4 damage, and then so yeah, it doesn't really do anything. We'll just leave it as it is for the moment. We're only on tile 2, and all the characters are taking loads of damage, and the game's taken way too long. Okay, now she's still got another shot. We've got a lot of zombies coming in here. If I fire now, I've got an alarm node here. So if I fire on any of these nodes and roll a miss, I'm going to set the alarm off, which means at the moment I have to draw 2 extra additional AI cards. So I don't want to do that because that's just horrendous. So we're going to shoot into this and just get rid of these 2 before they hit somebody. Uses the last ammo up, gets 4 hits, but there's only 2 there. You can't split shots because each node represents like an area, so it's not like you can shoot in 2 complete different areas. Doesn't make any sense. Maybe if like there was like some kind of minigun or something like that, you could maybe split hits, but there is no minigun in the game, so I'm making a replica of the game. Well, that's a kind of replica. So that was Joe's go. She's got no ammo. And she's moved. Oh, let's see what quotes she's got. She doesn't use any quotes this round. Ooh, I didn't know that. But that's a waste of time on this. But she's got, one of her quotes is run. All players on your tile gain +1 movement. Now, tile needs to be changed maybe to map tile, but it means everybody on this would gain 1 extra movement this round. That's no good for this turn because rook and brick have already been this turn. And that's another thing. Maybe I need a round tracker. We've got the threat tracker, but every time it's a new round when all the characters are ready to take a turn. I guess the fact that you've got this tracker on all the characters, that is already a tracker. All the characters have taken their turn, then it's a new turn. So you don't really need to delineate that from that. Like have another round tracker. Unless they had another round tracker that tracked some other effect, which may be something that having 2 trackers seems weird. Anyway, so that was Joe's go. She's not doing anything else because she can't. I shot her there, didn't I? Yeah. Oh God. Okay, it's Joe's go. It's the zombie's turn. These zombies are going to move to there. These zombies are going to move. These zombies are going to move to here because they're closer. Closer moves first. I've just made that rule up. So Brick's going to take, and then this guy is going to move to there. Brick's going to take 6 hits. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ouchie, ouchie, ouchie. Then it is Joe's turn to draw an AI card. So we draw from this deck. Quick breather. Oh no. Quick breather. 1 at A. Bloop. Oh, that's nice. Too quiet. Too long. You're right. It's exactly that because now I have to increase the threat by 3. 1, 2, 3. So now I'm in the horde rush phase. Where did I draw that from? God. I draw from a deck and then I instantly forget where I've just drawn that from. So now the next character to draw is going to have to draw 2 spawn cards because now I'm in the horde rush phase. Okay. So now that's the end of Joe's turn. Now it's Isaac's turn. I could actually on this little tracker I've got for each character, I've got a little. You probably can't see that's probably too small, too far away. A little character symbol, then a little zombie symbol, then a little AI director symbol, then I could have a end turn symbol. So I know that I go, it's the character's turn, zombie's turn, AI director, ended their turn. So I could add an end of turn marker. Because when I'm looking, I might think, oh, is it the character's AI phase or have I done that AI phase? So yeah, that's a good shout. Character, sheet. Add end turn marker. I'll draw a little picture. 1, 2, 3, 4 boxes. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, that's really only for solo play. If you're playing with 4 players, everyone's going to know where they're at and what they're doing. But for solo play, it's useful. So that was her director phase. So now it is, and it was lovely and simple because just 1 zombie appeared and nothing else. Then it's Isaac's turn. So this is where if you knew what cards were coming up or you had some idea, you could be like, we need a breather, pick from my deck because I know that there's 3 greens next or whatever, But then you'd have to balance that with knowing what was coming up on the threat tracker. And also you can manipulate that because once you are in the horde rush phase, you want to draw greens, which are easy, but move you quickly through the horde rush phase. So that's why it's funny, because if somebody says, oh, draw for mine, it's a green and it's a red, and then the thing doesn't move and you spawn loads of zombies, it creates, the way it works at the moment, I think is brilliant, that it creates these unexpected moments of, oh no, suddenly things can go really bad, which is kind of what I'm trying to get, which is what the game does, is you can be tootling along doing really well and then suddenly get mobs pile on you and it's out of your control. So that's kind of what I needed to replicate, that vibe of the game. So Isaac's go. Right, Isaac, so he can move to here. He can move 1, 2. With his movement. Oh, I need to get him somewhere closer with ammo. He's so far away. Ah, wait, here we go. I can fire into that zone. If I roll any misses, I'm going to hit brick. I've got to. He's going to take 6 damage. I'm going to move to there. I'm going to do my 0 to 1. I'm going to use his don't stop shout. Using his shout. Target player may move 1 node. I'm going to move myself. Now, I haven't expressly said that you can do that, but it says target player, so it doesn't say that I can't target myself. So I'm going to say he moves to there, then, I mean, it doesn't make any difference if I move to there, I'm still 1 node away. Is that better? Yeah, he's going to move to there, he's going to fire into this node. Oh, where did I move to there? Yeah, I was there. I could move to there to gain +1 dice, and my range of 3, 1, 2, but I won't get the extra 1 hit, but I'll get an extra dice, so that's much better. Move to there. So now he's rolling 2 red and 2 white. Oh, but it could burn loads of ammo, but he's going to fire into here. okay. So, so nice. So I got 3 hits. 1, 2, 3. Nice. I rolled a special, which means I can ignore 1 rolled reload. So I have to spend an ammunition, but a reload counts as a miss, which means I put 1 hit on brick friendly fire. So I've still got another shot. But is it worth risking? Yes, it is. Definitely. Yeah, we're going to fire again. So this time he has to spend an ammo. And I get 4 hits. Pop, pop, pop. Nice. And I hit brick again. Sorry, brick. Got a bit of friendly fire there. I really like the friendly fire mechanic. I think it works really well. The ammunition seems to be working well at the moment. A nice enough balance that people spending the ammunition and then having the opportunity to get it back via the search tokens, because we've still got 4 search tokens on this tile, and we've got an ammunition out, and I know what's in the bag because we've already pulled so much negative stuff from the bag already, and it hasn't been put back in the bag yet via the AI director. So at the moment that's quite a nice balance, it seems to be. So that was Isaac's turn, zombie phase. So this zombie will move to here. It's going to hit. This zombie will move to there as well. So let's take 2 on Isaac from those zombies, rather than putting them on Joe. Oh no, Joe's got more health. Oh well, doesn't matter. We'll put 2 on Isaac. These zombies are going to move to Rook, doing 3, 1, 2, 3. And then we've got to just do his director card, and now he's got to draw 2 director cards, so I'm going to draw 1 from here. Empty hallway, beautiful, lovely. 1 at A, +3, 1, 2, 3. Empty hallway, nothing moves yet, so I've just drawn from that deck, put a little marker on it. Then I'm going to draw from this deck. Nice, another green. So we just had a really nice horde rush phase, because I've got parking lot shadows, their eyes catch your torchlight, and I move out 1, 2, 3. So I've moved out of the horde rush phase by luckily drawing 2 greens, because if I could have drawn 2 reds, and the tracker could have not moved at all. So it's kind of like double trouble. I've got spawn from the bag to a node, to your node. And we spawn a Molotov. This is to Isaac's node, so there's a Molotov there that he can potentially pick up. Spawned 3 zombies at D. And then we increased, I already did the, put that there, that's going to move to there. That was Isaac's go. It's the top of the next round, all the characters are taking their turn and are reset. And we will potentially come back to carry on with this, or I might redo my notes and we might come back with a new version. We will see. As I've said many times before, this is just a working experiment of, can I make a game that I would like to exist? I would love there to be a Left 4 Dead board game. Can I make a game out of it? Obviously I know that there's board games that are very much like that already, but I'm trying to make one that's as faithful to the game as possible. So I'm kind of using that game as the constraints by not adding in anything that I think is just cool, like let's make all the characters have upgrades and things like that. It's like that doesn't exist in the game, so I'm not putting it in the game. I'm trying to make something faithful, but still make a game that can be fun to play. And I think we're getting somewhere. I think there's some cool ideas. I definitely had fun playing it in its current state. I've definitely had fun. Definitely takes way too long, but I am waffling onto you guys and writing notes and constantly thinking about things. So once I get to a stage where I've got something more locked in and then I can just play it at full speed, we'll see how we can develop it from there. What things do I think need to change at the moment? I kind of like the way everything works. I think the guns are much better now with the upgrade, and the dice are better, allowing you to kill more zombies. It might be that there's too many nodes on each tile and the node number needs to slightly decrease, so you get across them much quicker, but that'll obviously have an effect on movement when it comes to zombies moving and being on top of the players quicker, but that might be better. It could be that you only actually play 3 tiles, and that's an entire game. And that might be totally feasible. It could be that you play 1 tile and then there's a safe room, and then you play another tile and there's a safe room, and then the end room is the end of the game. At the moment I've had you play 6 tiles and you play 2 safe room, 2 safe room, or something like that. So it could be that it works this way with just 3 tiles and that's the entire game. We could try that. There's loads of things we could try. But anyway, that was another play test of Only 4 Survive, not affiliated with anybody, just a design experiment by me. And we'll see you next time. Thanks.